Imagine this: a routine bus ride disrupted by danger lurking in the shadows. A brave police dog, sensing trouble, refuses to budge from the aisle. As tension mounts, passengers realize they're in for a shocking revelation: the bus driver and his canine companion. The bus driver noticed the traffic light changing to red up ahead and instinctively eased off the accelerator, beginning to slow down. Suddenly, he felt the sharp point of a knife against the skin behind his left ear. "Don't you dare," warned the thug behind him. "Keep going and don't stop." Glancing in the rearview mirror, the driver saw two patrol cars following at a distance, their blue lights flashing. He also noticed a German shepherd lying calmly in the aisle, but something about the dog's alert posture signaled trouble. Its ears were forward, muscles tensed, and its gaze fixed on the knife-wielding man. "I've got at least one friend on this bus," the driver thought, unaware that help was on the way from outside the bus. An hour earlier, Michael Higgins had been tinkering with his vintage car in the driveway. As a former K-9 officer, owning such a classic vehicle had long been his dream. His daughter Emily strolled past, accompanied by Bear, his massive German shepherd. "Take care, sweetheart," he called out, waving to her. Emily laughed. "Don't worry, Dad. Bear's with me. I'm safer than ever." With that, she turned left and vanished down the road. Michael always felt a bit nervous when Emily went to town alone, but he agreed. With Bear around, she'd be perfectly safe. Michael's thoughts drifted down memory lane. He and Bear had been inseparable partners for 7 years. They had made countless arrests together, Bear's keen instincts often proving invaluable. He was fearless and remarkably intelligent, able to detect danger in a crowd. Their collaboration had led to the capture of many dangerous criminals. Though they had faced failure once, Michael preferred not to dwell on it. He was retired now, leaving the task of apprehending troublemakers to others. Emily and Bear didn't wait long for the bus. The driver greeted them warmly, patting Bear's head as they boarded. Emily settled in near the back, headphones in, while Bear kept a watchful eye on the other passengers. When a young man boarded, Bear's demeanor changed. Something about him set off the dog's instincts. He shifted to keep the man in sight, growing more uneasy as another young man joined him. Bear's instincts, finely tuned from years of police work, signaled danger to Emily. He rested his head on Emily's lap and emitted a soft whimper. Initially, she interpreted it as a sign of wanting affection and began to stroke his ears. However, as Bear's gentle whines persisted, Emily realized he was trying to convey something important. Having known Bear since he was a puppy, she understood the gravity of his signals. Emily observed Bear closely, tracing his line of sight to two young men seated near the front of the bus. Sensing Bear's unease, she became apprehensive and discreetly messaged her father. "Dad, I think there might be trouble on the bus," she wrote. "Bear seems uneasy around those two guys who boarded a couple of stops ago." Michael's heart skipped a beat as he read the message. Setting aside his greasy fingers, he replied immediately. "What's his behavior?" Emily glanced down at Bear and responded, "He's on high alert, Dad, keeping a close watch on them." Michael's heart sank upon reading her reply. Bear's heightened vigilance indicated a serious situation, and in all their years together, Bear had never been mistaken. "Can you discreetly take a photo of them?" Emily slid down in her seat, carefully observing the two men engaged in conversation, appearing nervous and somewhat jittery, but with their attention focused on each other, providing an opportunity to capture their profiles unnoticed. She snapped a few photos and sent them to her father. If he had been worried before, Michael was now in a panic. The two men in the images before him, the same two men on the bus with his daughter, belonged to the gang he had been chasing for years. "Get off at the next stop," he messaged urgently. "Act like it's your stop. Don't acknowledge them, just leave the bus. Inform me as soon as you're off." Following her father's instructions, Emily calmly exited the bus. "This isn't my usual stop," remarked the bus driver. "Nope," she replied cheerfully. "Change of plans today." Once she stepped onto the sidewalk and heard the bus doors shut, Emily texted her father, "I'm off." Relief washed over her, but then she realized Bear wasn't beside her. "Bear's still on the bus, Dad. I think he stayed." A lump formed in Michael's throat, but he reassured her, "Don't worry about Bear. He can handle himself." Michael swiftly contacted his former colleagues, briefing them on the situation. The police came right away, even before he finished talking. After the call, Michael rushed in his Jeep towards where the bus was going. Even though he had stopped working a year ago, he still had some business to take care of with these bad guys, and today was the day to do it. Meanwhile, on the bus, the driver noticed Bear slowly moving forward on his stomach. Bear was sneaky, getting closer without anyone noticing. The driver and Bear looked at each other in the mirror. The driver felt like Bear was telling him something, encouraging him to keep going. He knew deep down that Bear would show him when the time was right. The police cars trailing the bus had activated their sirens, making the criminals even more nervous. In the rearview mirror, Bear had moved up closer behind the two culprits. The driver glanced ahead. The bus was approaching a traffic light, and obeying the thug's demands to speed up would endanger everyone on board. However, refusing could lead to a hostage situation. Desperate for a distraction, the driver realized the dog in the aisle could provide one. Locking eyes with Bear, the driver noticed his ears perk up, signaling readiness. Acting swiftly, the driver slammed on the brakes without warning. The sudden stop sent one of the criminals lunging forward, almost through the windshield. Seizing the opportunity, Bear leaped at the thug, knocking him down with tremendous force. Swiftly, Bear apprehended the second criminal attempting to flee down the aisle. As the bus halted, 3 heavily armored officers boarded with their weapons drawn. Upon disembarking, Bear reunited with his family, while the driver stood alongside them. Days later, both the driver and Bear received medals for their bravery, marking the conclusion of their remarkable ordeal.